What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my hands-on and first impressions video of the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Lite. So let's get started. Now I know that many of you have been requesting that I cover the Note 10 Lite here on the channel, and here it is. I did already open up the box and set everything up for the sake of saving some time, but I'm very excited about this phone and I'm looking forward to making a variety of different videos and comparisons here on the channel. Another thing I want to mention too is that this phone is currently being offered at around $529, but check out the link in the video description to see what it's currently being offered for over on Amazon. But with all that said, let's get started. So here is the front of the box. You can see Note 10 Lite right there. We also have a little S Pen here in blue, which is pretty interesting. But beyond that, that's pretty much all we get here. So I'm gonna lift the lid and we'll see what's included in the box. So the first thing that we have here is this packet. So I'll open this up and you can see already we have a SIM card removal tool, which is excellent. But I'm gonna open the box, see what's in here. And it looks like we get a couple of different items. So we get a quick start guide in both English and Spanish, which is awesome. Here's the model number, by the way, for this particular phone. There's a warranty card, and then there's also a clear plastic case that comes with the phone. But one of the things that's especially cool about Samsung products is that there's a bunch of different screen protectors, cases, and other accessories available online. So you're gonna have no issues finding accessories for the Note 10 Lite. And that's something that really can't be said for some of the smaller companies. But since Samsung is so dominant in the market, tons of different manufacturers make different cases and accessories for their products. So we'll put the phone off to the side for a second. We also have another little piece of paper here. We have a Samsung charger. So this is a 25-watt fast charger, so a super fast charger, which is great. We also get some S Pen tip replacements in the box, which is really cool. We get a double-sided USB-C cable, which is in here. And then we get some Samsung earbuds. So here is the actual Note 10 Lite itself. So this phone kind of looks like a hybrid between Samsung's A series, so their various phones like the A71, and also Samsung's recent S20 series. So this phone is definitely a unique device. This is the first time we've ever seen a budget Note phone come out as well. And since this phone is such a solid device, at least on paper with the specs, and so far from my usage of it, I'm definitely thinking that the Note 10 Lite will be a popular phone all throughout 2020. Now this particular phone is GSM unlocked, so it will work with any GSM carrier. So in the US, this is going to work completely fine with AT&T and T-Mobile, and the various carriers under those carriers. The phone is available in 3 different colors at the time of me recording this video. You can get the phone in Aura Glow, Aura Black, and Aura Red. And this is the Aura Glow color. So kind of a nice rainbow look to it, which is pretty cool. Now the phone features a massive 6.7-inch Infinity O display. We're getting an 86.6% screen to body ratio. So a very impressive screen to body ratio with the phone. The display itself is Super AMOLED. It's a 1080p display with a PPI of 394, and we are getting a 20:9 aspect ratio. So very similar to the A71 and A51, and also similar to the S20 phones. So a very narrow but tall form factor here with the phone, and that's definitely something that I am a big fan of. Now in the hole punch for the front-facing camera, we have a 32 megapixel front-facing camera. Internally, the phone features 128 gigabytes of storage with SD card expansion. There is no wireless charging with the Note 10 Lite, but we do get a fingerprint sensor built into the display. So it is a nice, fast, and accurate fingerprint sensor, so I'm a big fan of that. And on the rear of the phone, we have a triple camera setup. So we have a 12 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera. So unlike some of the latest A series phones and S series phones, this device doesn't have a main camera that is high in megapixel count. So it is just 12 megapixels. Now the good news is that I did already take a couple of photos with this phone, and it does take really good looking pictures. So of course, stay tuned for the full review video, as you'll get a really good impression of what the photo and video quality looks like. but definitely, despite this having a 12 megapixel camera, the camera is very decent. So you will be able to take really good looking photos with this device. And it is cool that this phone does have a dedicated 2x telephoto camera. So that's great if you do like to use the telephoto mode, but maybe you're disappointed that none of the A series phones feature telephoto, then you definitely might want to consider getting the Note 10 Lite. In addition to that, we have really good front-facing camera quality as well, and you do of course get portrait mode with the front and rear cameras. Another thing I want to mention too is that I know that whenever I make videos in general, in the comments, everyone's always asking what phone I'm using to record this video, and I'm using the LG G7 paired up with a lapel microphone. But it is an excellent phone, and you can actually get it right now on Amazon for just $129 renewed. Of course, double check because the price might have changed since the last time I checked, but that's a really good deal for a very decent phone. But getting back to the Note 10 Lite, like I said, I'm really looking forward to getting a lot of usage out of the camera here and getting a good idea of the quality, but it looks really good so far. Now internally, we're getting 6 gigabytes of RAM, and we're getting the Samsung Exynos 9810 processor. Now to my understanding, the 9810 is a flagship processor from Samsung, and I did run an Antutu benchmark test, and this is the result that I got. So 323,247. So that's the overall score that I was able to get with the phone, which is pretty impressive overall. That's definitely more of a mid-range score though. I would say that that score is appropriate for the price tag of this phone, but for other devices like the S20 Ultra, where I was able to get well over 500,000 as the Antutu score, there really is no comparison in that aspect. So just know that if you do get this phone, it's not going to be the fastest phone out there ever, but with this kind of score, 99.9% of people will be able to use this phone happily with no performance issues at all. So just keep that in mind. Now, the current status of Antutu Benchmark is kind of strange. It was removed from the Google Play Store, so I'm not going to recommend anymore that you install it. I think it's completely fine, but in this situation, I did actually install the Antutu app directly from their website. I ran the app, got this score, then, just for the sake of being careful, I deleted the Antutu app. So this is a screenshot of the score. I just want to be transparent with you about that. And it's still kind of unknown why Antutu Benchmark was removed from the Google Play Store. But like I said, I'm going to trust Google's judgment on that. So I no longer recommend installing the Antutu Benchmark app until it is actually back in the Google Play Store. So give me a thumbs up for taking this risk, just for the sake of showing you these scores. Now, video recording with this phone is 4K for both the front and rear cameras, which is really cool. The Galaxy Note 10 Lite features a beefy battery at 4,500 milliamp hours, and you are of course getting 25-watt fast charging, as I showed you before with that fast charger. So it is really cool that this phone does feature a really beefy battery, as you should get really good battery life. Now, the software on here is Android 10 with Samsung's One UI 2.0. So some of the latest and greatest software from Samsung, which is great to see. Now, my software is currently up to date, and we do have the January 1st, 2020 security patch as the latest security patch. It would have been nice though to see the March security patch. I know that I did get that already with my Galaxy S20 Ultra, which I'd expect after paying $1,400. But I'm also slightly disappointed that we don't have the security patch with the Note 10 Lite, considering that it is a very recent phone from Samsung, and it's also still decently expensive at over $500. But taking a closer look at the hardware, I would say that the hardware is really awesome with this phone. Again, you're getting a really big, bright, and good-looking display with the phone. And I just realized that my brightness is actually not on 100%. So I just switched it to 100% brightness. That looks even brighter and better. But it is a very impressive display overall. Really good form factor here, and I'm a big fan of this design from Samsung. Of course, you're not getting anything too unique with the Note 10 Lite as far as the design goes, but it still does look really good. Now, on the left side of the phone, we have just the slot for the microSD card and SIM cards. This is a dual SIM device. On the right side of the phone, we have the power button and volume button. And then on the top of the phone, we have the noise canceling microphone. Then on the bottom of the device, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. This is currently the only Note device since the Note 9 to have a headphone jack. So it is cool that we do get it with this phone. We also have a USB-C port for charging and data transfer. We have the microphone, we have the speaker, and then of course we have the S Pen. Now in the full review video, I'll go all through everything that you can do with the S Pen, but essentially it's a very cool, useful stylus that's built into the phone. And this stylus certainly is a lot better and more capable than other styluses from other phones, such as the LG Stylo 5. And to my understanding, this is a bit of a downgrade compared to the regular Note 10 stylus, but it's still a decent stylus and definitely a cool feature to see with this device for $529. I know that the mid-range segment is really competitive, and I think that this phone having a stylus is one of the things that really does set it apart from other phones in this price range. And then of course, taking a look at the back side of the phone, a really nice clean design here with just the camera module and Samsung logo. So overall, a great looking modern phone. And I'm glad that Samsung did decide to launch this in 2020. I do in some ways though feel like they could have called the phone like the Samsung A stylus or something like that, just because this phone does remind me a little bit more of the A series rather than kind of the higher end Note series. I know that sounds kind of dumb, because the phone does of course have a stylus. I just know from using the phone, I get more of an A series type of vibe than I do of a Note or S series vibe. So if that makes sense, let me know, but maybe it doesn't make any sense. That's just kind of my personal feelings about the device. But thank you everyone for watching this video. Again, this is kind of an introduction video to the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Lite. I'm really excited to finally have the phone, and I know that many of you have been looking forward to it as well. So if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Now that I've finished recording this video, I'm now going to move on to doing those other comparisons. So definitely stay tuned for those, and a lot of great content is on the way.